gangs on the air. Carlos, Tyler, Jay with a flair. Comedy, culture, news, and life's sweet spice. Serve it up hot. Oh, it's always nice. Laughter echoes through the digital street. Friends catching up, ain't that a treat? Jokes that ring sharp as a knife. They dive deep, set your spirit alight. HollingsWorthless, yeah, tune in tight. Three pals diving, everything feels right. From comedy to culture, every news bite they bring the light. On a Tuesday night. Hits the punchlines quick as a flash. Tyler's stories always crash. They drops wisdom like a silent storm. Together they create a show that's more. They talk about the life, the love, the strife. Turn mundane moments into pure delight. Each Tuesday just feels right. It's more than a show, it's a piece of life. Culture served on a silver plate. News and views that resonate. Committed gold, you can hardly wait. It's a weekly fix, don't be late. Culture served on a silver plate. News and views that resonate. Committed gold, you can hardly wait. It's a weekly fix, don't be late.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the HollingsWorthless Program. I'm one of your hosts, Big Irish J. Hollingsworth, and as usual, we have the Hooligoons, the Goon Squad, the usual suspects, three of a kind, Trips, three men, no baby. Shout out to Baby Miles. Three Musketeers, just the three of us. Three's Company, no Mr. Furley, starting with... You've seen him on Amazon Prime. He's the host with the most. Part-time famous, full-time funny, Carlos Anthony.
What's happening?
Why can't I hear you?
You can't hear me?
Oh, no, I can't hear you. What has happened?
I can hear him.
Why can't I hear you? Tyler, can you hear Carlos?
Yeah, I can hear him.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay, let's
You
get
not hear
Tyler,
us?
and then I'll try and figure my shit out. He took the D out of DEI. He's Dwight. We call him the one box check murderer. He is now very cancelable. He's not very. Hey, I'm not racist. Tyler, don't call me Joseph Smith.
What up?
What up? Let me try and see. I had the music was playing and everything. I heard everything.
Can you hear
What
me?
the fuck? Why is it? I did change my shit in the middle of this thing. Mike test.
Did he
Okay,
say
I'm gonna exit and come right back. I'll be right back.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Oh, God.
Again this week. Welcome back to the Tyler and
Right.
Carlos show. 2 weeks in a row. Holding
Right.
down the
This
fort.
is, yeah, I'm starting to think this is a trend now. One is
I
an incident,
know.
two is a trend. So, because I'm like, how can everybody can hear him? Welcome, Felicia.
Everyone.
Everyone can hear
Everyone
him.
heard him. We were all chatting before we went live.
Hear you. I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey.
Hey, I changed this this thing out in the middle when our intro song was playing, so that must have fucked it up. I don't know, but we're back. We are back,
Yeah.
and I'm well rested, so my energy is fucking up. I've gotten a lot of shit done today, and pretty excited
Hell yeah.
because Tyler told me a little bit. Or shit, were you guys in the middle of anything? I just came back in.
We were talking about you and how you thought this was going to be the second week that you escaped on us and just left it to us.
It's gonna play this
Escape.
trick on us again.
Right.
What a interesting choice of
Another
words.
technical
Escape.
out. Now that I got you guys here, hold on.
Yeah, exactly. All right, you guys talk amongst yourselves. I'll edit it later. No, but
That's how I host parties, bro. Like if I get like anxiety at my own party, I'll just be like, all right, you guys talk, and then I'll just go like hang out on the balcony.
Irish goodbye your own place.
Yeah.
Um
I've done that a few times.
And Carlos saying escape. Usually escape is a term you use if you want to get out of a place.
Huh?
That is correct.
Yeah, you get it. What up, Felicia? Felicia, what's going on? So Tyler has I mean, Carlos and I like going on the road together all the time. We usually have like pretty interesting stories from like some of the comics that we've worked with. But Tyler, set the whole thing. Talk about the show and
Oh man,
how you do it, and you got to hear
It's
this,
like-
Carlos.
it's such a different experience being a producer, comic, you know, because like I'm making the show on top of, you know, performing and all that shit. But anyways, it's a little bit of a different experience. But and this is like the problems that I got to deal with. These are the problems that I got to deal with. So I got to do my show in Minneapolis this last week, and first time ever going out there, so I don't know anybody. And the whole reason why this show got set up was because a guy I knew from Portland, who I did some shows with, came up. He did some shows with me here. We have a relationship. I think we've done like 4 or 5 shows together. He sent me, or he ended up moving to Minnesota a couple years ago, and then randomly hit me up like 6 months ago, telling me that he has, like he's like, I want to work with you. I want to get your show in a venue, and maybe I can like be on it as well. You know, like let me help you book your show so I can get booked, basically, type of thing. And I'm like, totally fine. If you want to help me out, like, you know, if you get my show somewhere, man, I'll give you a little bonus. Like, I appreciate that. Like, that's above and beyond what people do. So I really appreciate it. So he goes to work, finds me a venue, and gives me a great deal. I don't want to share what the deal is, but he gave me a great deal. And I would say he saved me like a good chunk of money. So I'm just going to say that on the side.
We get it.
I reach out to my friend now that we have a venue. I'm like, all right, well, I'll start booking the show, and then we'll like get the ads up. Everything will start moving in motion. So I reach out to my homie, Sasha Rosser, a comedian, lady comic from Madison, Wisconsin.
She's
Been
great.
on my other podcast. She's hilarious. Very
Yeah,
great.
I
think you
did
guys
the
know.
dope show with her in Seattle, right? Or
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very funny lady. Reached out to her because it's like I think she was only like an hour away from there, you know. So I'm like, I don't know. I think that's a fine drive. It's pretty flat. So offered her the gig. Offered her $150 for a 4 p.m. headlining spot. Airing it out there. we'll get to why. Normally, I would never just boldly say how much I'm paying somebody.
Well, also you should also clarify for, I guess, comics and non-comics. When somebody headlines a show, like if you're doing a show at a club or whatever, headliner, usually a show is set up where you have an opener. Well, hosts will usually do about maybe 10 minutes. Then you have if they have a guest spot might do 7 minutes, but there's not always guest spots. The middle person, the feature, usually does about between 20 and 30 minutes. And the headliner is usually doing about 45 minutes minimum. And so when you say you're having her headliner your show, though, it's not 45 minutes. Just
No. When I say headliner, it just means the person who's closing out my show.
right.
Because it's a showcase. It's not a comedy. Like, it's not a comedy show where you're going to see any of these people. You're going to the dope show, which is a showcase. So
and just so everybody knows, the headliner on the dope show, or the person closing out the show, is usually doing about they do what, 5 minutes up front and then 10 minutes on the second set.
it's like 10 and 5. It depends. It depends.
Jesus.
It switches around, man. It depends on where I am. Like, the lineup's usually not the same.
Okay.
If I only have like 2-3 people on the show, like, they'll do a lot more time. But if I have 4 people on the show, they're probably only going to do 10 and 5.
Gotcha.
So 15 minutes total is what we get to. 15 minutes
15
max
minutes.
for a person that's closing out the show.
Yeah. So you're getting $10 a minute,
Right.
which is a solid deal. I think that's a solid deal. Anyways, so, and that's like, and that, by the way, these rates change if I'm asking somebody to promote the show. If I don't ask anything from you, it's just a flat rate. And, you know, that's like a little behind the scenes in case anybody who's watching this is trying to be a producer. So my homie Sasha can't make the show. She's like, I'm busy that day. Sorry. And I'm like, well, can you recommend me some comics? I need a headliner, and then I need like some openers. So she gives me 3 names for headliners and then 7 names for openers. I reach out to the other guy who's helping me produce the show. And I go, hey, can you send me a list too? Because like my go-to wasn't available. So just give me a list of your headliners and your openers. He sent me a list. She sent me a list. And of those headliners, there was a match. Like, somebody was on both lists. And then I reached out to somebody as an opener, and I started sending out like opener offers. And the first one couldn't make it, but was very friendly. So I asked them like, hey, who do you recommend in the neighborhood? And then they sent me a list too. And the headliner list had the same name on the other 2 lists. So that name, I'm like, this guy must be really funny because he's on all 3 of these lists.
Right.
And like one of them was like this guy specifically. So I'm like, all right, that guy seems like he's the bee's knees. So I want him on my show. So, sent him an offer. I sent him actually 2 offers, one through his professional website, which he didn't answer. And then I'm like, why have a professional website if you're not going to fucking use it? Slid into his DMs, answered right away. Anyways, gave him an offer. I offered him $125 to headline the show. And then I get some more names on that list, and I just start going down. I send out the offers, and I think I just picked 2 random ones, and I sent them out. And it happened to be this guy named Ebenezer Modassa, who's a black man. Not that I would point that out. Not that I think it's important, but apparently it is important in this story. So,
it comes
Well,
around.
but the name, well, I guess no, Ebenezer Scrooge, but Ebenezer sounds.
I said the same joke, and it didn't go well with him. Anyways.
Well,
And then I got a lady comic named Perla Rose. And then I got the headliner that was on all 3
she
lists.
black too.
Named Stanley. She's white.
Perla.
Is she
Pearl.
90 years old?
Pearl. Yeah. So anyways, I'm like, Those people were recommended to be on the opening list. I gave them offers for $75 to do. I didn't even tell any of these people how much they're getting, how much time they're doing. I just said like, hey, will you be on the show for $75? And they were like, sweet. Got them on the show. The show happens. I'm at the venue and like, actually, wait. Sorry. A week leading up to the show, I'm going over my email and I'm getting ready to send out the message with like, hey, I got you on this weekend. Can reconfirm one more time. And then here are your times. And then before I do that, I look over my emails with the venue and they're like super strict on that. We have to get out of there by 6 p.m. because the show's at 4. So I'm like, all right, normally I do 90 minutes. I'm going to do like a 70-minute show. And they also wanted an intermission too, by the way. So we need an intermission so they can get extra drinks and we need like a hard out. And I'm like, fine. Hold on, Felicia.
Felicia.
Hold on.
It's Felicia.
I like, man, what a week. Anyways, so I where was I at? I was putting together the list.
You reconfirm
Intermission,
and then
yeah.
the time got cut. It's not a 90-minute show, 70 minutes, and they want an intermission.
They want an intermission. So everybody's getting 10 minutes with a 10-minute intermission, and then we're doing 5 minutes at the end. That's about 70 minutes. Do you see any problems going into this so far?
No.
Thank you.
Following along.
Thank you so much. So, show happens. I tell everybody in the message that I send out, please get there by 3:45 to check in with me. And then I send them the times that they're doing and like the call times. And now it's 3:45 and like all 3 of these comics that I hired from Minnesota are late. All 3 of them. Super fucking rude. I really hate that. Not to throw them under the bus, but left a bad taste in my mouth. All 3 of them.
Yeah.
I fucking I get
and what's funny, Tyler? What's funny is at the time you thought, well, this is probably the worst part of this show.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm like, this is like the most stressful part. This is probably the worst thing that's gonna happen now is that these aren't gonna show up. One of the first guys that shows up is the guy that helped me get the show there. He showed up an hour before the show, so he's already there. And then he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey man, like I really appreciate the time, but I'm not like comfortable doing 10 and 5. Is it okay if I do a little less time?" Because he's like, I don't do enough comedy. Like I'm not out there a lot, and that's why I'm asking you to help me book so I can do some fucking time.
I respect. First of all, I respect
Yeah.
that. Respect that.
I really respect it because I had him going 3rd, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll have you go 2nd, and I'll give you 5 minutes. So then it's not. It's just like it won't interrupt the flow that much. And also the night before, when I hand out the call times, James, the headliner, reached out to me and asked me if he could switch spots. And I asked him why, and he goes, because some reason. And I'm like, no, I'm hiring you to crescendo my show. You're going last. That's what I want you. Like, I need you to go last. Like, that's what I want. That's why you're going last, is like, this is the arc of the show. You will crescendo because I heard you're the funniest. It's so hard to tell a story when you're fucking around. So where am I at? I'm at.
You got an email from the headline,
the
the guy closing out the show, that asked you if he could go
If he could switch spots.
and
And
you're
I'm
like,
like, no, we're not going to switch spots. I've heard you're the funniest. I'm hiring you to close out my show. That's why you're here. So he's like, okay, fine. Then we're at the show. Everybody's late, which is fine. I message everybody. They all message me. We're looking for parking. I'm like, okay, at least they're here. They get there. We do the show. Show's fine. It's a decent show. We had I sold it out. Just want
nice.
to point that out. Looking over everybody's profiles, nobody posted that they were doing the show. Not a single post.
What the fuck?
Nobody. So I sold it out.
Right.
We finish the show. I tell them, hey, I'm going to be doing merch. So if you need to leave, go ahead and leave. I'll pay you guys on Cash App or Venmo. Just let me know and I'll pay you after the show. He sends, so then the show's done. Everything's done. I get back to my hotel room. I'm start sending out the pay and I send out a message going, hey, I just paid you. Thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it. Second person, hey, thank you for being on the show. Here's your pay. Thank you for being on the show. Here's your pay. And then I get a message from everybody. And one person, Pearl, messages me, thanks for having me on the show. It was fun. And then I get the message, Pearl accepts your payment. And then I got a message from Pearl, hey, just wanted you to know that paying a black man and a woman less than the white man for all of us doing the same times is really bad optics.
Tyler can't get away. It's always somehow he ends up, dude.
Fucking shoot me in the head. I'm like, I try and handle this as delicately as possible because as soon as I get that message, I'm like, oh, this is a victim and I need to treat her as one because she's probably having a meltdown right now. So I'm like, hey.
First of all, how does she know though? How does she know that?
I guess they were all in cahoots, Carlos. They were all talking to each other.
Which is fucking weird because I'm not talking, unless we cool like that, I'm not talking to anybody else about what I make on a show.
I guess they're cool like that. So these guys are all buddy.
Okay.
And they just instantly tell each other.
Can I ask some questions as we're going through this, Tyler? Or are you going to be like, geez, I can't remember where I'm at. You fucking around with the screen. All right. I sound like a pirate, and you're dressed like one.
Spit it out.
The lady that sent that, or the comic, is she new, or do you know?
I mean, she's got like 3,000 followers, so I would imagine she's been around for a few years.
Okay, so for the people in the chat, and if you're listening to this in comedy, just okay, I'll use an analogy. Okay, so if you have the sixth man, we'll use the Celtics because I'm a Celtics fan. Peyton Pritchard, he's probably going to get Sixth Man of the Year award right now.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's okay. You can hate on that. And then you have Jason Tatum, who's the starter and the star, or what would be like the headliner. Maybe Tatum and Pritchard play the exact same amount of minutes in a game, but Tatum is the star and he gets paid more. The headliner is always going to be getting paid more than the features or the guest spots. Guest spots don't get paid, or the host. So I'm like, I would have just responded, yeah, that white man that you're pointing out as white is the headliner.
Dude, I should have been just more bold like it, but I was like, whoa, I get through your like a broken lens. This could look in a very bad light, but that's not what happened. He was the headliner and you guys got opener pay. That's all that happened. And then she's like, well, how come that other white guy got more money than all of us? And I'm like, because he was the producer. He got me in the venue.
God, there's a lot of conversations going on.
Exactly.
That are unnecessary.
I know. I'm like, why is that guy even telling you how much I'm paying him? Because that should be like, I mean, you know what? Fuck it. I paid him $225. If anybody in a fucking city wants to bring the dope show out and do 5 minutes on it, you can I'll pay you a quarter of a bill. I don't know. Anyways. Right. So she's like, I'm like, that's not what happened. Like, he got producer pay, he got headliner pay, you guys got opener pay, and that's what happened. Like, I'm so sorry if that's what you interpreted, but that's not what happened. And I'm like, got it.
You thought you were done?
I'm like, there we go. The explanation's been sent. Like, thank God I cleared that up. That was embarrassing.
Buckle up, Carlos.
That was embarrassing. Hopefully she's a reasonable, rational person who can see that headliners get paid more than openers, regardless of the fucking stage time. I'm like trying to like, even if he did the same amount, if one of you dropped, he would be able to fill it, like there's a fucking reason why he's the
Also-
fucking headliner.
Yeah, and also, you adjust on the fly. I mean, shit. Carlos and I, when we're doing, are you raising your hand, Carlos?
No, I was about to say something. I'm gonna see if you say the same what I was about to say anyway.
You adjust on the fly. So like, we do LA comedy clubs, like our home club here in Vegas, Carlos and I's, and so you may the features usually do about 17 minutes, and the headliner usually does like 30-ish. But if you have guest spots and everything, or if somebody goes long or whatever, your time might be cut down. I might end up doing the same time as the feature, but
Dude,
I'm
did
the
a
headliner.
show.
I'm closing it out. I'm the fucking. I'm not going to say that they're there to see me because I'm not a draw.
Yeah.
But.
And here's the other piece of that too, is what I was going to say is that time had it not been a time crunch, then the times he would have done more time. So it was because of the time constraint that there was another issue that they don't have to know about. It's none of your business.
Exactly. I was just going to ask you, Carlos, because Carlos used to produce a show.
Yes.
And I was going to ask Carlos, if you got some type of email questioning all this shit, how would you have responded?
I'd have cussed that motherfucking ass out. Because first, if I want, go ahead, finish the story, because I don't want to cut it off before I have to leave. So go ahead, finish the story. We'll get back to that.
So here I am. I give a very reasonable explanation. Everybody understands this. That's just pay. That's headliner pay. That's producer pay. This is common knowledge. Openers make the least amount. Features make more. Headliners make more. Producers make more than everybody. And then venues make more than everybody else. So like there's like this huge hierarchy in who's getting paid per show. And it has a lot to do with like, how much and whatever you're contributing. So I thought
you didn't even promote the show. You're asking for more money. You didn't even promote the show.
Dude, and 15 minutes late. You're 15 minutes late to a 15-minute spot, bro. Like, you wouldn't want to be 15 minutes late to an 8-hour shift, let alone a 15-minute spot. And then to throw this shade on me. And I'm like, so I send out that explanation, and she's like, she keeps going. Like, that's not what this is. This is not what it looks like. You need to make it right. And then I just like, all right, now I just mute. I gave you my explanation. Nothing I say is going to change this person's mind now. She's going off. My inbox is blowing up, message after message, all this shit. She takes the photo that I sent of her on stage at my show and posted on her stories, says, "Great time at the dope show. Too bad. This is how they pay." And then puts white man 125, white man 100, black man 75, woman 75, and then all the times. And I'm like, excellent. I'm just waiting now for the backlash. I'm just waiting for those comments. And like, I start seeing notifications now on my Instagram, and I'm like, oh God, here comes one. Somebody blows up one of my posts, writes something nasty, delete, block. Then I get a couple more notifications. And these ones are just likes on my post, new follow, and they are just white male comics from Minnesota.
I'm about to say, wait.
But I'm like,
we want to work with him.
oh,
So you're gonna have a big pool to choose from next time you go to Minnesota.
I know, dude. I was like, this is not. I mean, like, that's not what I want either. I don't want this either.
Oh, that's so funny. You should have replied to her and go, "Do you know that I was under the impression that I was black for like 3 months?"
Right. Right.
You're speaking to someone that thought he was black.
Did you just assume all the genders of everybody on the show?
She said, "Oh, I didn't know the headliner was white. I don't know how you identify. I'm just paying a headliner." Here's my thing.
Somebody who doesn't have anything better to do with her time, nor does she really. Now I'm questioning her followers because you can't be in this business in any length of time and not know that that's the way it works.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You can't play that card. And Crazy said it just a minute ago. You putting the black card or the woman card on this is absolutely insane. It's insane.
Yeah,
and I'm speaking from as a black man. Yeah, I'm black. Yeah, as a black man.
Just as a white guy, I'd like to say that I think you were fine.
Clip that right there.
I've always valued your producing.
No, I mean, I remember when you've had black people headline and you still pay me more, so I appreciate that. I'm joking. I'm joking. It's a joke. I'm not trying to get you in more shit. But what I'm curious, I question how long she's been doing comedy, and then also, did nobody? I'm sure you probably didn't follow up on any of these posts, but I would think, would the Minnesota comedy community be like, well, that's the headliner. The headliner's getting paid more. So I don't understand.
I mean, that's from her post. I mean, she designed it to make it look like
awful.
I'm a racist, sexist asshole. And I'm like, anybody who sees that who is not involved in comedy is going to be like, that's fucked up. It's going to be, it's virtue signaling. It's fucking at its finest, bro. It's like way to tweak out, way to craft such a, like, honestly, if you're looking at it, it's just a diverse show that you are twisting it into this nasty thing, which was so awful.
Here's the positive thing about that. Controversy creates interest. So now people, when they see that, they're, like you said, they're gonna come to your page to figure out who you are. And some people will follow, some people won't. Some people will have something negative to say. Some people will be on your to your benefit. But you speak if you feel so, if you choose to do so. When it blows up, if it blows up, then you say the truth, and then you go on about your business and let them motherfuckers argue amongst themselves in the comments. But
exactly,
this is absolutely insane.
Yeah,
to only put this up there like that.
I appreciate it, man. I thought it would be a great idea to just take her post, because she used a selfie with all the information on it, and then just scratch off the information and be like opener producer, and then have like a hiring sign at the top, just like, anyways.
And again, it's so much to that. I mean, goodness, if you promoted the show, she promoted the show, and she had 200 people standing there that were just for her, then you could say from that perspective, hey, I brought 200 people to this show. I think I've earned a little bit more on my pay than showing up 15 minutes late, doing your little 15-minute time, and then demanding that you make it right because she wasn't the headliner.
Dude, you know what would have been, I know in the moment you're not thinking this, but you know what would have been great? Be like, you know what? You might be right. So I'll tell you what, I'll give you an extra $100 for each post that you did promoting the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right.
I'll give you an extra 1,000. I'll give you $1 million for every post you did promoting the show.
Tell you what, I'll give you an extra $50 for every professional thing that I think that a comic should do. Show up on time and don't burn the light. How about that? $50 for every, you burnt the light and you showed up late. Sorry, you don't get any bonuses.
Yeah.
Like, man, dude, if I burnt the light and was late, I didn't even mention that she burnt the light. I'm just remembering this now, but she did burn the light. And I'm like, I would be mortified. I would be mortified.
Did you ever talk to what's her name from Wisconsin? God, she's so funny. I'm forgetting her name. That was
Sasha?
Yeah. Did you ever talk to her, or did she ever?
Yeah, dude. So at the end of that show, I was like, hey, just so you guys know, because we had fun, you made money, if you want somebody to thank, go thank Sasha Rosser. And I just fucking handed her name over to these people who had no idea. And then after all this, I reached out to Sasha going, yo, Sasha, here's screenshots of my messages with that comic. I wouldn't recommend her anymore, just so you know. But anyways, the headliner.
You don't have to tell. You don't have to tell us what. The white dude. I get it. No. Yeah, and you don't have to say what Sasha said because whatever it was. But Crazy Cutie had asked, "What does burning the light mean?" So Crazy on Tyler's show, and again, he mentioned at the beginning he's under a time constraint. It's not his regular show. So, and as an example, let's say you're booked to do 15 minutes. So as a comic, they'll always ask you, okay, when do you want to light? So if you're doing, if I was doing 15 minutes, I would probably say, oh, can I get a 2-minute light? Meaning at 13 minutes of my 15-minute set, somebody in the back will, or they have a light at the club, but somebody will turn the light on to let me know I got 2 minutes left of my 15-minute set. And if I go over that, after that 2 minutes, if I go over that 15 minutes, let's say I do another 5 minutes. So now I've done 20 minutes. I've burned the light. I've gone 5 minutes over what my time was. So I've burned the light 5 minutes. And if you're on a tight time, like you have a hard out, meaning you have to be out of there at a specific time, like there's no leeway, then that can fuck up the whole show. I mean, going over your time.
And now you can even say, well, shit, had you not done all that, had you not burned the light, then he would have been able to do his time. So you actually cut it to his time.
Dude, I know that it's gonna, like, everybody's gonna do like, I expect people to go over a little bit because of like the format of the show. You're getting high. You're gonna be high. Like, time is irrelevant, but yeah. So I don't know. It's whatever.
Worry about it, though. Yeah, I wouldn't even worry about it. And you deal with that. You cross that bridge when it comes to it, if it even goes that far. But it sounds like their community, comedy community in Minnesota, needs to get their shit together and quit talking. I mean, that's show business.
Well, and we don't know. I mean, like Tyler said, she presented it a certain way to get a certain reaction, but we don't. I don't know. We don't know what. I mean, if anybody in the Facebook groups is like, hey, that's the headline. So we don't.
Yeah.
I'll just look at it as this one person specifically. And I mean, honestly, I would have been like, all of that shit she wrote, I just been like, yeah, he's the headliner, but thanks for doing the show, and then we're done, and then she can say whatever she wants. And I would at that point just be like, it is what it is. I'm like,
exactly. I think I even was like, good luck with your career. I think I even threw that in there because I'm like, I'm throwing a good luck with your career because that is a fucking, I'm never talking to you again. I only say that to people I will never see again.
Yeah,
I mean, shit, and rightfully so. I mean, that because she's gonna have a hard time. She's gonna have a hard time if that's her perspective on not only comedy but just simple professionalism. Like, I wouldn't even thought to say anything like that. Not even thought to say nothing like that. That shit is insane.
Yeah, dude, it's yeah,
man. I reached out to
it leads to another thing with people in this business and I say art in general. You honestly believe that you're worth what that other person is getting paid, and I say we all should believe that. I mean, we all should believe we're worth more. But there's a hierarchy to this. There's status to this. There are steps to this. So if you're not there yet, then why am I going to be complaining? Like I said, why am I asking for Jason Tatum money if I'm sitting on the bench? Like, this shit or I come off the bench and I do a great job, but I go right back to the bench. I mean, this shit don't make sense.
Yeah.
And what were you saying, Tyler? You say you reached out to who?
Yeah, I reached out to the other two comics because I'm like, clearly they're talking to each other. So I'm like, I reached out to the headliner. I'm like, hey, just so you know, I didn't pay you more because you're a white guy.
He's like, you did?
Like, I don't know if I need to tell you that, but judging by your friend's post here, I'm just going to send you that message. I paid you more because you got 20,000 followers and were recommended to headline the show by everybody I asked.
And you're
So-
closing out the show. I mean, yeah.
And like, just in case anybody asks in the future why you get paid more, it's because you're funnier. You can just say that. If he's listening, I didn't actually say that, but if you're listening, James, fucking just tell people because you're funnier than them is why you're getting paid more.
Crazy Cutie
live-
said it was her idea to talk about the shit from the gate. I bet so she knew that she was trying to get out of it, and at the end of the day, what were you about to say, Tyler?
Yeah. There's one time I did a show with a weekend headliner and the club, and I'm sure this has happened to both you guys, where the headliner does so bad that they cut his time, and then all you guys got to pick up extra time, or they add people to the show. And like, I remember I was on a show with a fucking very famous person, and his time got cut from 60 minutes to 15. I also did 15. And guess who got paid more?
Yeah.
Was it me or was it the guy on television?
Dude, I can top that. I can top that. When I was at the parlor, I won't say the headliner's name, but actually I'll just tell this whole story. I don't know if I've told either of you guys this. So there was a famous comic. He'd been on TV, on sitcoms. He was headlining. In town at the and doing time on the shows was Justin Ruppel was back in town. Ron Funches was featuring, and Adam Ray was doing a guest spot. So first show went great, no problem. Second show starts, and from the end of the first show, between the end of the first show and the second show, the headliner had consumed a full bottle of vodka to himself.
I know exactly who this is.
So he is fucked up. So second show starts. I'm hosting. I go up. I do like 10 minutes. Justin Ruppel does a guest spot. Adam Ray does a guest spot. Ron Funches features, does great. Everybody's does great. Headliner goes up, and I bring him up, and he goes, "Hey, everybody did great." He's hammered. Everybody did great. Let's bring everybody back up on stage. So he's like, Jay and Justin. Comes up. Adam Ray. As Adam Ray comes up, he goes, "Hey, this isn't fucking weird."
I do remember this.
And then Ron Funches comes up, and for those that don't know, Ron, very funny comic, also happens to be black. And the headliner, as Ron comes up, puts his hand on Ron's shoulder and goes, "Hey, Ron, you're the only one up here that's not black." No idea what that means. He was hammered.
Ron Funches?
Yes, I know.
Oh.
I don't know what it means. So
he's black, if you guys don't know.
Yeah. So it's just weird. I mean,
and he's the only one that was black in that situation.
Yeah. I mean, Ron's kind of a quirky dude, but I don't know what the fuck that meant. Anyways, so we all get off. He's like, "Okay, thanks, guys." So we all get off stage. It's probably been 30 seconds since we just got off stage, and he said all that and brought us up. And as he's talking, this tooth in his mouth falls out of his head onto the stage. He goes, and I'm on the side watching, and I'm like, "Oh fuck!" So he goes, "Oh, oops." He puts it back in his head. Maybe 15 more seconds go by. Tooth falls out of his mouth again onto the stage. At this point, I look at all the other guys and I go, "Hey, I don't know what's going on, but just be ready. I don't know what's going to happen. Please just be ready." And then as he's putting the tooth back in his mouth for the second time, he goes, "Oh, I don't know what to do." And somebody in the front row goes, "How about you tell a fucking joke?" So he says,
I'm just kidding.
So
that was me. I would never do that, but
Yes.
I do appreciate that.
So the headliner goes, "Oh, oh god, let me bring Jay back up here." So he walks off. So people are going, "Jay, he's getting off." And so I'm running to the stage, and I'm like hitting Ron, Adam, and Justin. I go, "Be ready. I'm going to bring you guys back up. Be ready." I don't know. So I go back up on stage. The headliner's now in the green room. Being a good host and for a fellow comic, I'm just trying to cover for the hammered headliner, right? So what I say is I go, I go, oh, the headline. I say his name. I go, the headliner. He was at the dentist today. This is all horse shit. But I go, he's at the dentist today, so he might be a little loopy. Or I didn't say loopy, but I was like, he's dealing with that. I'm trying to imply that he's fucked up because he's on Novocaine or whatever, right? When I say that, fucking Ron
hit in the head with a hammer and the dentist.
Yeah, fucking when I said that, trying to cover for him, Ron Funches, right of stage, starts laughing. And it's the only sound you hear in the club because I'm not doing jokes. I'm trying to cover for this guy. And you just hear Ron. Yeah, and his laugh is like, it's like really high pitched.
It's super distinctive.
Yes. So I look over at Ron, I go, thanks, Ron. And so I think I did like 15, 20 more minutes. Justin came up, did like 15 more minutes. Adam did 15 more minutes. And then Ron, I think, did like 15 or 20 more, 30 minutes. I don't know. Anyways, the headliner never came back up on stage. And you know how much our pay was adjusted? Fucking zero. He never fucking went back. He never performed that second show, but got paid for it. And we didn't get
This is the thing. Some fucking entitled comics would be like, well, that's bullshit. Your pay should be adjusted. But the thing is that you just put in so much extra work with that club and they recognize that they're going to give you extra work because they appreciate you looking out for them. They're going to have to refund tickets. They're going to lose money on this shit. Like, you don't know what's going on. Like, people are going to be pissed. It's like, just roll with it. Try not to be a problem. And like, it'll balance back out. Like, if this lady never complained, she could have gotten on any fucking show over here on the West Coast. She could have been on a whole fucking West Coast tour, Canadian tour, but and because she's all uppity.
And Jesus. Glad you said that about the lady. So the other ripple effects of that is don't tell me that I know you already told her name, but don't tell me it again because we all talk. So if she's coming to Vegas and she posts and I remember this name and like I'm trying to get a gig. Like if it's somebody that you were like, hey dude, I was in Minnesota and this comic Bob Jones was so fucking dude, he was so funny, professional, and he killed it. And I see him post in Las Vegas group, hey, I'm coming to Vegas, and I have shows where, oh shit, I remember Tyler said this guy was great, very funny. Hey, I'll throw you a spot. All right, maybe I can get you some work, But the opposite, if somebody's a piece of shit,
you get talked. Like, this is such a gabbing community where we're all going to be gabbing. Like, I'm sure I'm going to be thrown under the bus in a bunch of circles over there, but it's not like any of that shit's going to matter for me because it's not like it's going to hurt. Like, I'm not going to get a venue to be like, whoa, what happened here, bro? They're going to be like, oh, shit, you sold out another fucking show? Here's another offer, like.
In a place that you don't live, you don't have any connection to outside of that dude helping you out. Yeah, you'll be perfectly fine.
And let me say one other thing about that show that headliner was hammered, that we didn't get any other, we didn't get like a bonus or fucking here's a couple extra chicken strips, nothing. Here's the thing is everybody at that show at that time was there for the headliner. Nobody came there for us. Now they got a great show, like we all covered, and everybody was very happy with as far as like
that lineup now, like those are all famous. Like, that's a great show. Well,
except for me, but yeah,
you're famous.
Thanks for
Jay.
Jay.
No.
He's like, what's Jay's last name? You're like, Jay who?
He has a special out right now. If you check it out, it's called The Green Monster.
Oh, we got a live audience right now randomly when we switched times last minute. our floating podcast.
Yes. Well, we have to because Carlos has a gig. But
I'm not downgrading. I'm just saying you're famous. You got people watching.
No, please. Right. Carlos, can you stay for 11 more minutes or do you have to go right now?
Yeah, I ain't got no gas in my car.
You got to get a hybrid. All right. I was going to, well, I kind of told you. Well, no. So I just was going to say this last weekend I was at Wise Guys in Utah, and shout out to JD, aka Short Bus, Comedy Short Bus on Instagram. Took care of me. He's like he lives up there in Utah, and he's like one of the main guys that Wise Guys. Shout out to Keith Stubbs too, owner of Wise Guys. His clubs are fucking great up there. But JD took care of me all weekend, and Saturday I got to live a white boy spring. Or white. I got to like
What?
I got to relive my youth that I never got to live as a young white boy growing up. What I mean by that is, like, growing up, I listened. I was a city boy. I grew up in the city. I didn't grow up on a farm or fucking deal with animals or any of that shit. And growing up, I listened to hip hop and R&B. My dad listened to all kinds of like Earth, Wind and Fire, Kool and the Gang, et cetera, et cetera. So what we did Saturday is JD drove an hour, picked me up, went back to his place, and we went four-wheeling. I had never been on a four-wheeler in my life, and we went up into these mountains in Utah, and it's fucking so beautiful. And it was, dude, I was scared shitless though when I first got on. I was like, should I get a helmet? And he goes, it'll block your vision. And I'm like, and I always talk about, like, I don't do extreme sports shit. I don't want to go parachuting. I don't want to go hang gliding. I avoid any shit trying to fuck with death. And so I didn't wear a helmet, but I was like, okay, I'm going to be very, very cautious. And one thing I found out about four-wheelers is they accelerate very quick. And then as soon as you let off the gas, they brake, like they jerk or they slow down really quickly. So it was a learning curve on how to use it. But there was times where I was doing like fucking 40 miles an hour on this thing. But we went up into the mountains and we did like 21 miles of all through these mountains. And it was dope. It was awesome. Never done anything like that. And Utah reminded me, like the mountains reminded me a lot of like Ireland. It was a trip. And then did the show. We had one show that night. And then after the show, I took an edible, got high as fuck. And then we went to the other Wise Guys where I met Keith and I met some of the other local comics. And then Spencer King, who opened for me, was one of the openers. I know my white side came out crazy. That's what I was saying. And wait till you hear this shit. And then as we're there at the other Wise Guys, which is fucking huge and beautiful, it's great clubs. Spencer King was like, "Hey, you want to go with us to see Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon laser light show?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." Never done anything like that. And what's crazy is growing up, like, you have like cliques in high school. So you have like the rockers, you have the druggies, which might be the rockers too. I was like, it was funny because when like the section of our cafeteria over here was like where all the black people sat. And those were only people I knew from middle school. Cause like why did they it was like this. If you're looking at, I'm not saying like get the fuck away. Over here,
that side in the back.
It's like, well, no, it was like over here was like the black section, I guess, and then one white dot. Section.
This keeps getting better.
Well, it was where all the black people sat, and then me. There was one white dot over there, big fat white dot. Over here was like in the center, in the back was like the popular kids or like the fucking popular kids. Over here on the right were like the emo and fucking rockers and all this shit, right? So but growing up, I was gonna say, like, you would always hear like the rockers would always talk about doing going to see Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, going to laser light shows. I never got to do that or never did that because I didn't listen to that music, and there was no like fucking Tupac laser light show when I was growing up, which I would have gone to. But I went to it. I never. There was one song of Pink Floyd's that I recognized. I think it was called "Money," but all the other songs I'd never heard. Very sounded a lot like the Beatles. But dude, it was awesome. It was so fun, dude. Being high out of your mind and just sitting there and watching it. It was fucking amazing. And I think I called you afterwards, Carlos, or maybe the next day, and I was like, "We got to go do the Sphere. We have to go. We got to do the sphere. I want to do this.
You didn't call me.
Oh, it was Sean. I called Sean. It was Sean. That's right.
I was too busy on that side over there. So I must have missed that call. I'll look for it next time. Just gotta go a little further in the back.
I think I did call Sean because I knew he knew who Pink Floyd was, or he had listened to Pink Floyd.
What will make you think that I don't know who Pink Floyd is?
Oh, which song of theirs is your favorite?
Silver Moon.
The fuck is that? If that's is that a song? I don't even know what that is. Oh, you Silver Moon. I have no idea. Thank God fucking Tyler can vouch. You motherfucker.
Dude, that's so funny. I was like, that you mean like Dark Side of the Moon?
There's a dark side and there's a silver
It's
side.
hilarious. I was like, is that a fucking song? I don't know. But yeah, dude. Well, we'll talk about it afterwards, Carlos. But yeah, I wanted. We got to go do the sphere. It was awesome. But I got to relive my youth as a young white man or a young white boy, which it was crazy. I got to do all these things that never done before. But it was fun. But that's all I wanted to say. He said Silver Moon. I was immediately like, how the fuck you know?
Next week, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you about my black side.
Oh shit! All right, where are we at this week? Let's do our plugs and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, I'm about to be at the LA Comedy Club here in an hour, and then I am in Laughlin the rest of this week, and then I got some Don't Tells in Texas coming up. So check parttimefamous.com out.
Yes, Tyler.
This Friday, I am at the Chalet Theater in Enumclaw. Really great lineup. Dope show there. Dope show at the North Bend Theater on Saturday. And then a dope show on Sunday, 4 p.m. Tacoma Comedy Club, 7 p.m. Everett Historical Theater, and again at 4 p.m. at Spokane Comedy Club. I will not be at the Spokane one, but my favorite comic, Harry J. Riley, will be over there hosting for me. So
all white headliners on all those shows.
Harry J. Riley's black.
I'm sure he's at the back of the show.
He's hosting and he's getting paid the most.
Reparations.
This weekend, Friday, and if anybody listening to this, or Crazy Cutie, or Felicia, anybody that's in here, if you have friends or family in these areas, please let them know. But Friday, I'm doing a one-nighter at the Punchline in Philadelphia. Punchline Philly, one-nighter, one show only. This Saturday, I will be in Avenel, New Jersey, which is by Woodbridge, or part of Woodbridge, at the Avenel Performing Arts Center. That tickets are low on that. I just did a real boost today, or an ad for it. So if you have friends in New Jersey, please let them know. And then Sunday I'm doing a private gig, and then I'm back Monday. But you can go to bigirishj.com for tickets. And until next week, and as far as Georgia, I was going to talk to you about that, Carlos. We'll talk. I'm going to talk to you about something about in Atlanta, but we'll talk. Okay. Crazy. Until next week, thanks everybody. I love you, and until then, bye.
Peace out.